It's a Monday edition of Sports Splash on ABS TV, the first one for the week. Thank you very much for joining us on the show. On Sports Splash today, Falcons off to flying start after the African Games in Ghana. NDLEA and the Nigeria Premier Football League partner on drug tester for footballers. Max Verstappen wins the GP2 of the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix at the weekend, and Tom Cleverley has been named as the new coach of an English club, Watford. Now, let's begin with our first story on the show. Our first story on the show is about Solution Football Club of Anambra State. And Inter Lagos FC on Saturday, the 9th of March 2024, defeated Solution FC by 3 unreplied goals in one of the match day 13 fixtures of the ongoing 2023-2024 Nigeria National League, the NNL, season played at the Mobolaji Johnson Arena on Ikan in Lagos State. Anthony Encho-led technical crew made 4 changes to the side that drew Gateway FC in their last match as Kalistu Soputa regained his position at right back, leapfrogging Joseph Igwe, while Ibrahim Ajuwon, Charles Ewe, and Solomon Ubong made the cut ahead of Gabriel Adeolu, Daniel Obodi, and Christopher Biawo Onovo, respectively. The first attempt on goal came through a headed effort from the home side on Marta Tony Obia, whose attempt at goal from Uchenna Asoke's indirect free kick was parried out for a corner kick by Solution FC goalkeeper Chinedu Nwabeze. The introduction of Abdul Sese for Tunde Omo Asebi in the 22nd minute for Inter Lagos paid off as the forward poked home with a belter inside the box to give his side the lead after an initial effort from Timothy Zachariah came off at the woodwork in the course of the game. And 7 minutes later, Sese doubled the lead for his home side in the 40th minute with his bracer capitalizing from a mix-up in the middle of the park for the Solution boys setting up a 3-on-4 situation in a swift counter-attacking move for the goal. Christopher Chinedu Nwabeze's poor goalkeeping, of course, offer a Christopher Obiaza strike in the dying minutes of the game was an icing on the cake for the home side as they took the maximum points with an emphatic win. Solution FC, who are without a win in their last 5 matches, will seek for redemption when they host FC1 Rocket for match day 14 fixture scheduled for Sunday, the 17th of March 2024 at the Oka City Stadium. So, Solution FC are yet to find a win in their past 4 matches, and they will be looking for redemption, and that's when they face FC1 Rocket come this Sunday at the Oka City Stadium in continuation of the ongoing 2023-2024 season of the Nigeria National League. It is called the most important league in the country. Defending African Games women's football champions, the Falconets have got off to a winning start at the 13th edition of the competition, courtesy of a 2-0 win over their Moroccan counterparts at the ongoing African Games are being hosted by Ghana. The Nigerian girls who won gold in 2019 in Morocco opened the scoring in the 19th minute through an own goal and then doubled their lead just before halftime through Yina. They ought to have won by a far bigger margin, but for poor finishing in their game. Their next match will be this Monday against Senegal, and Cameroon are also on another team in that group, and host Ghana are drawn in Group A alongside Ethiopia, Tanzania, and Uganda, and the top 2 teams in each group are expected to advance to the semi-finals of the ongoing African Games are being hosted by Ghana. Moving away from that, let's go to Super Eagles news. A source close to the NFF has revealed to the media that George Finidi will lead the Super Eagles in both friendly games pending the appointment of a new manager following the exit of Jose Peseiro. The clashes which reignite age-old rivalries rivalries between Ghana and Mali is set to take place in Marrakesh, Morocco, and that's coming up on Friday, the March 22nd, and Tuesday, March 26th. The encounter with Ghana's Black Stars holds particular significance, harking back to a 73-year rivalry between the West African Giants, and the last meeting between the two teams in March 2020 during a FIFA World Cup playoff ended in a closely contested draw. Meanwhile, Nigeria's encounter with Mali presents an intriguing match-up between the two teams are aptly dubbed the Eagles, while their previous friendly in 2016 ended in a deadlock. Mali seeks to avenge their loss to the Super Eagles in the 2013 African Cup of Nations semi-finals. A Nigerian squad boasting a blend of experience and fresh talent includes notable names such as Wilfred Ndidi, Victor Osimhen, and Alex Iwobi. Additionally, the return of key players like Jamilu Collins and Tyrone Ebuehi also alongside promising newcomers Gabriel Osho and Benjamin Tianimu adds depth to the line-up as the Super Eagles are prepared for this double-header friendly between the Super Eagles taking on Ghana and then also taking on the Elephants of Mali. We'll be watching out for that. Those matches are coming up on the 22nd and the 26th of this month. Later, some parts of the build-up to prepare the Super Eagles team for the upcoming World Cup qualifiers later in the course of the year. The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency and the Nigeria Premier Football League, the NPFL, have agreed to partner on the conduct of drug tests for footballers in the country as part of efforts to curb the menace of substance abuse in Nigeria. This was according to a statement by the Director of Media and Advocacy, NDLEA National Headquarters, Abuja, Femi Babafemi, and that was on Friday. According to the statement, this was one of the high points of the discussions between the leadership of the agency and the Football League when the chairman of the NPFL board, Honorable Wenga Elebweleye, led a delegation including ex-international Daniel Amokachi on a courtesy visit to the chairman and chief executive officer of the NDLEA, Brigadier General Mohammed Buba Mawa, retired, and that was in Abuja on Friday. The delegation also included the chairman of Sokoto State Football Association, Mohammed Seidu Nasiru, the chief operating officer of the NPFL, Davis Inowumi, and the head of legal NPFL, Uche George Elebweleye, acknowledged that the inspiring and impactful leadership of Mawa has given NDLEA to become a frontline law enforcement agency now respected at both home and abroad. He said that the activities of the agency have not only raised a national awareness about the drug scourge, but have equally curbed the impunity of drug cartels and barons. He said part of the problems are facing the sports industry in the country, especially the football sport, is betting and the use of performance-enhancing drugs by footballers. He said he has to reach out to the agency for partnership to salvage the situation. In his response, Mawa commended the NPFL boss for his giant strides and innovations to build football league in the country. He assured that the agency won't relent in its offensive action against drug cartels in the country. He expressed the willingness of the NDLEA to partner with the NPFL to curb the absence of illicit substances formed by footballers. He said that the league should also consider mobilizing star footballers to get involved in open advocacy against drug abuse because a lot of youth look up to them as a role model. Good to see that one come up at NPFL, NDLEA partnership, of course, to curb the practice of the use of performance-enhancing drugs. Wenga Elebweleye meeting the NDLEA boss, Brigadier General Mawa, retired for that initiative. So in subsequent days and weeks ahead, we'll get to hear more about that as regards testing, maybe random testing of players before league match to find a way to curb this. We can't wait for that to come up in the Nigerian football circles, and especially at the highest level of Nigerian club football, which is at the NPFL, the Nigeria Premier Football League. Nigeria international Wilfred Ndidi has returned from injury that saw him sadly miss at the 2023 African Nations Cup. The experienced midfielder is one of the Super Eagles key players that missed the continental tournament after sustaining an injury while in action for Leicester City. Ndidi, who missed Leicester's 10 English Championship matches, watch on as Nigeria went all the way to the AFCON final, where they lost to host Ivory Coast, and Leicester manager Enzo Maresca is pleased with the return of the 27-year-old who came on in the 72nd minute as Leicester City claimed a 1-0 win over Sunderland, and that was last Tuesday. Moving on from football for the moment, let's tell you that Red Bulls and Max Verstappen took a comfortable victory in the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix as Britain Oliver Beer Beerman scored points on his debut for 7th for Ferrari in the course of the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Verstappen's win was his second in 2 races in 2024 and his 9th consecutive victory dating back to September, and leading teammate Sergio Perez to Red Bull 1-2. He continued that the crushing superiority Verstappen has had over the Formula One field for nearly 2 years. Ferrari's Charles Leclerc came third in the course of that one, and Beerman standing in for Carlos Sainz after the Spaniard underwent an appendectomy, became an 18-year-old, the youngest British driver in Formula One history and the 3rd youngest ever. He drove with maturity to fend off a potential challenger from McLaren's Lando Norris and Mercedes Lewis Hamilton as they fought back after late pit stops for fresh tires on inverted strategies. That Norris and Hamilton had stayed out during an early safety car deployed after Aston Martin's last Stroll crashed on lap 6. They stopped with 13 and 14 laps to go. Hamilton, a lap before Norris, and fitted soft tires in the hope they could use their extra grip to close in on those ahead. But after initially taking chunks off the Beerman's advantage, their tires began to fade, and Norris and Hamilton were left fighting among themselves for the 8th place rather than challenging the teenager. And Beerman started at 11th after being drafted in before final practice and was 12th after the safety car. He passed Zhou Guanyu's Sauber and then Nico Hülkenberg's Haas, and then benefited from the strategies of Hamilton and Norris on and accomplished a debut that confirmed him as a potential star for the future. Beerman was named the driver of the day in the fans' vote, and teammate Charles Leclerc paid tribute to him after that race. And that's the new boy, Beerman, out there racing for that team in the absence of Lance, and we'll be watching out for him in more Formula One actions that to come in the course of the Formula One calendar year. So 2 down, we've had the Bahrain Grand Prix, of course, offer now. That was the first one for the year. We've also had the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, and many more to come. And of course, we expect that the Formula One season will clock off with the final Grand Prix of the year. Where does that happen? It happens in Interlagos, and that's in Brazil. That should be the final Grand Prix of the year. Usually, I will have 19 Grand Prix in the year in Formula One, but there's been an extension, and we're going to have 21 Grand Prix for the year in Formula One. So for Max Verstappen, of course, taking the checkered flag in the first one and the second one, he's now on the top of the constructors table, right? That should be on 30 points right now for Max Verstappen. We'll be watching out for him. I will expect the likes of Lewis Hamilton to race this game and give Max Verstappen a run for his money, and equally the likes of Charles Leclerc, Nico Hülkenberg, and a whole lot of them to come back strongly in the Formula One. And now to athletics. At the World Triathlon Championship series open in Abu Dhabi has been cancelled because of a severe adverse weather forecast that we hear. The series, which had been due to start on the 8th of March, is unable to go ahead with heavy rainfall and thunderstorm expected in the United Arab Emirates. And TGB's Beta Porter and Alex Yee were among the athletes due to compete. The announcement came hours before the start of the elite women's race, which includes world champions Porter and World Triathlon and the Abu Dhabi Sports Council explored hosting Friday's event in a closed event. By the end of it, all the organizers botched that, and of course the game will come up much more later. And still talking at sports on Sports Splash now, let's check out what's happening in the world of tennis. In tennis, Britain's Emma Raducanu is through to the round 3 at Indian Wells after opponent Diana Yastremska retired with illness in the opening set. We hear Raducanu, 21 years of age, raced into a 4-0 lead in just 18 minutes during the first set. Ukraine's Yastremska stepped to the back of the court between games, holding her stomach and then retiring from the contest after being assessed by the medics. Raducanu will next face world number 2, Irina Sabalenka, who's just 25 years of age, the Belarusian, who successfully defended her Australian Open in January, fought back against American Peyton Steins and survived the third set, a tiebreaker to win 6-7, 6-2, and 7-6. And wildcard Raducanu broke Yastemanska's serve in the opening game with a well-placed drop shot and then a duck in to save a break point during her first service game. A strong backhand sealed a second break before Raducanu comfortably held in the fourth game. Yastrzemanska also retired with an injury during her only other meeting with Raducanu at Portorož in Slovenia, and that was in 2022. It is the first time Raducanu has registered successive victories since she won 3 in a row to reach the 4th round at Indian Wells. That was in March 2023. An American Coco Gauff, 19 years of age, had to dig deeper to get beyond Clara Burel, winning 2-6, 6-3, 7-6, 7-4 to secure her place in round 3. After taking the opening set, world number 47, Burel led by 2-love in the second before Gauff found her rhythm back to break twice and win the set at 6-3. Gauff ranked number 3 in the world, trailed 4-love and 5-2 in third and final set, but showed grit when winning the 6 of the following 8 games to force a tie break, which she won on the 3-point mark. And congratulations to her. India Wales continues, and we'll serve you more stories about how the ladies are performing in that. And just to wrap up for the tennis, Andy Murray believes players need to be more careful about how they speak to officials, and that tennis could learn a lot from rugby after the issue. Murray's second round opponent at Indian Wells on Friday is Andrew Rublev, who was disqualified in Dubai last week for unsportsmanlike conduct. We hear the world number 5 screamed in the face of a line judge following a disputed call in the final set of his semi-final match with Andrei Bublik, and Rublev was defaulted after a Russian speaking official told the media that Roland Hafel, the supervisor for the match, that the 26-year-old has sworn at the line judge in Russia. But the news out there is that he is asking for more respect for match officials, especially in the game of tennis. To wind off the show, lastly in football, Watford has sacked boss Valerian Ismail following a run of only 1 win in 10 league games, with Tom Cleverley named as an interim head coach. And former Manchester United and England midfielder Cleverley, 34 years of age, had been coaching their under-18 side after his retirement from playing last year. The Hornets, who are 13th in the championship, say Cleverley's staff will be confirmed in due course. And ex-Barnsley and West Bromwich Albion boss Ismail that joined Watford in May 2000. That was in May 2023. And lastly, Arsenal goalkeeper Green came moments after his team had beaten Brentford in a slog of a 2-1 win, which moved the Gunners back to the top of the Premier League. And Ramsdale was not laughing, however, for most of the previous hour after a goalkeeping error, and that was in the game against Brentford. But Arsenal came back and got the win through Kyle Havertz, and that was in the 87th minute of the game. And with that, Arsenal on top of the log, as Liverpool, Manchester City yesterday ended in a 1-1 draw. And of course, that will be a lengthy break for them now after the Champions League before their next game against Manchester City, and that was coming up on March 31st. That's the show for the morning. Sports Splash on ABS TV was an abridged one. Thank you so much for being here. The show makes a return tomorrow for another episode. I am Ike Nwoke. Have a lovely Monday, but remember to keep sporting. Bye-bye now.